Hey, we got a win. Uh Man, to what cost though? This one looks like it could have been painful. Let's talk about it.
Here we go! Yeah, here we go! Wait, take
Cowboys. Throws back of the end zone. There's
What's going on, everybody? Cowboys C3. Cowboys win tonight 20-15 versus the New York Giants. Vegas got it right. They had the Cowboys winning by 5 and when the game started tonight. 20-15, pretty good win. But it seemed to be pretty costly. Michael Parsons ended up hurting his foot. Looked like, had to be helped off the field. Went over into the blue tent, got checked out, and ended up riding out on a cart. So that's kind of scary. Defense is already kind of shaky, as it was kind of shaky. They played very well tonight. There were some things that they did well. They stopped the run excellent. I think New York averaged 1.1 yards per carry, which is far better than the 5.4 that they were giving up previously in the last two games. However, they had a tremendous time getting off the field on third and fourth downs. Third down efficiency, Giants went 5 for 16, but they were 3 of 4 on fourth downs, which, is fantastic. Time of possession was another thing that was a little bit shaky tonight. Cowboys held the ball for 24 minutes and 23 seconds, but the Giants held the ball for 35 minutes and 37 seconds. Giants held on the ball for a long time. And, one time they had 11 play, a 16 play, 11 play, 6-minute drive. And it only amounted to like 54 yards or something. They end up kicking a field goal. All their points came off field goals tonight. Cowboys played a bend but don't break, defense. Got down in the red zone. They were tough. DeMar and Overshawn was all over the field tonight. I was really, really pleased with the way that he played. I was also pleased with the way Mozzie Smith played. Mozzie Smith played like he had his hair on fire tonight. And that was fantastic. He needed a game like this tonight. He played against a really good center, and in times it looked like he was overpowering. Mozzie Smith was in the backfield a few times, made a couple tackles for loss, and I was really, really happy with that. And I know a lot of you fans were happy with that too. It's about time Mozzie Smith came up. Cowboys ended the night. Dak Prescott, 22 of 27. Excellent game, 221 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rico Dowdle was leading rusher, 11 carries for 46 yards, 4.2-yard average. Not bad. Caught a touchdown on a screen pass. Ezekiel Elliott, 5 for 19. CeeDee Lamb was 3 rushes for 8 yards. Hunter Olympic had 2 rushes for 8 yards, another 4 yards per carry. CeeDee Lamb ended the night 7 catches for 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches for 49 yards. And Jalen Tolbert had 3 catches for 24 yards. Those are your leading statistical people for the Cowboys, players for the Cowboys. Daniel Jones ended the night 29 of 40 and looked good at times, right? I mean, he did. He was very efficient tonight. No touchdowns, though. 1 interception, threw an interception at the end of the game. Devin Singletary had 14 carries for 24 yards, 1.7 yards per carry. They did a really good job containing him tonight. They did. And that's the NFL's leading rusher that was going into week 4. So is the run defense fixed? No, I don't think it is. The Giants run the ball exceptionally well. They play very physical tonight. But it still remains to be seen. The Giants aren't going to be a top 10 offense in the NFL this year. They may finish close in rushing, but it's a start. You shut the run down tonight. That's a start. Daniel Jones, 4 carries for 3 yards. He did a good job containing him tonight as well. Malik Neighbors still ended up with 12 catches for 115 yards, but he caught some passes when Trayvon Diggs went down. A lot of people got, a little bit worried when Diggs went down. He was holding on to that leg. Ended up just being cramps. He had to go in the locker room, got an IV, came back out, and continued playing. DeMarcus Lawrence went out with a foot injury as well, ankle injury. He was back in the blue tent, got taped up, and never returned to the game in the fourth quarter. So that maybe a little bit of concern there as well. Kind of concerned about Michael Parsons. I am. He got rolled up, kind of ugly. Coming on the A-gap blitz, kind of got rolled up between the center and left guard. Went down on the ground, didn't get up and had to be helped off the field. And then it's never a good sign when your player goes out on the cart. They got a 10-day break. Thankfully, perfect timing for a 10-day break. The one player that I think that they cannot lose on that defense is Michael Parsons. He may not be playing as well as he's played in previous years, but he attracts a lot of attention from offenses. Offenses have to game plan for Michael Parsons, and without him, it could be pretty tough sledding. Your pass rush tonight was, it was a little ineffective, and I think that's why Daniel Jones kind of standing back there, kind of comfortable, and he continued to kind of drift over to his left side and complete passes. Kalen Carson didn't play tonight. Andrew Booth Jr. came out. I think it's the second play of the game. They hit Malik Neighbors for a 32-yard pass. Malik Neighbors put Andrew Booth like flat on his face. And I noticed that he had on white cleats, and he slipped again on another play, and he ended up changing into blue cleats. But he needed to keep them blue cleats on because after that, he actually played pretty well. Diggs played pretty efficiently. Overshown is probably the second most athletic player that they have on the defensive side of the ball. He was everywhere. Eric Kendricks had a total of like 13 tackles tonight. I think Overshown had a total of 8. But Overshown is just disruptive. He's fast. He closes extremely fast. He's a pretty sure tackler. He's pretty good in coverage. He's not bad at all. He did play some safety at the University of Texas. He's just an all-around good football player. Malik Hooker played pretty decent, kind of undercut a route there at the end of the game that kind of got over his head. And luckily, Wan'Dale Robinson wasn't really – he was kind of distracted by Malik Hooker, and he missed the ball. Plus, Wan'Dale Robinson's only 5'8". So he probably didn't even see the ball till they got right on him. They did a pretty good job containing Malik Neighbors, especially, with the games that he's been having. He's been having multiple touchdown games. He didn't get in the end zone today. Not at all. I was extremely happy with the way the defense played. Offense came out fast. They did. They came out fast. They did some things early in the game. Had a pretty rough first drive. Tyler Guyton had a rough game. He had a really rough game. Kayvon Thibodeau was giving him fits. They kept Brian Burns pretty quiet, which that's another good thing. Guyton's got some footwork things that he needs to work on. Pass rush comes at him wide. It's not really an issue. He's so long, he can take one step and it's your 2 steps and he can get wide. But what Kayvon Thibodeau was doing was he was taking him wide and then coming back across his chest. The same thing Terrence Steele had a problem with last week. One name that you didn't hear a lot tonight was Terrence Steele. He played pretty solid. He did. Cooper Beebe got a holding penalty on a play where I don't really know if he held. I wasn't real sure about that one. They called holding on him and Tyler Smith on the same play, and they showed the replay, and it really wasn't much there. Referees, they really knew that they were on Thursday Night Football. They threw a lot of flags. I mean, a lot of flags. And I'm interested to see how many total penalties. And we'll talk more in depth about the game on Saturday. I know it's late night. We're not going to do too much tonight. Just kind of celebrate this win. I know not too many people are up this late. Probably only Cowboy fans. But, we can enjoy it for a little bit. We'll enjoy it until, Sunday when everybody else plays, and we'll see what happens. But 2-2 now. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a win against the Giants, and it was It was a tough game, hard fought game. Giants have gotten a lot more physical this year, and you can see the difference. But I'm happy with the fact that the Cowboys played in a physical football game and they came out on top. They weathered the storm, had two of their two part of their most key players on defense both went out, and in the fourth quarter they weren't available, and they still held on for the win. And I'm pretty happy with that. They're gonna have to figure out a way to generate more offense. This run game is pretty stagnant. Even though Rico Dowdle had 11 carries tonight, which I think that's the most anybody's carried the ball. And they had an opportunity to carry the ball tonight, to run the ball tonight because they needed to close out a game. And they didn't do bad. Zeke came in, had some good runs at the end of the game. Giants kind of closed it down. And they lined up, the kicker for a routine 51-yard field goal for him. He missed it, but the Cowboy, it was only 23 seconds left in the game. And the Cowboy defense kind of shut it down. So, good win, solid win. We'll take it. You get a 10-day break, and you got a really tough game in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offense isn't that great. I think their offense is averaging like half a touchdown a game, but they play tremendous defense. So this offense is going to have to clean some things up, especially with the offensive line play. Now we traded off. Seems like your right guard was playing crappy for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and now your left guard played horrible tonight. He went through the ringer tonight. But hopefully it's something that he learns from and he can improve on. He's got 10 days to work on some things, watch some film, make sure he gets his feet right, because this Pittsburgh defense is pretty tough too. And we'll kind of talk more about the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday during the longer show. They're pretty good. It doesn't look like, Russell Wilson's not going to play this week again. He's still out with this calf strain or whatever it is that he has. And Justin Fields, he's not playing tremendously well, but they're winning. They're winning, and they're winning off defense and running the football. And that's a pretty good combination. That combination seems to carry well. And if they win enough games, it'll carry well into the playoffs. It will. You play that you're playing a good hard-nosed football team, and you have to go to Pittsburgh to play. And Heinz Field is just not a friendly place to play. Mike Tomlin is an excellent coach. He's been in Pittsburgh. It seems like he's been in Pittsburgh since I was a baby. He's been there for a long time. He's been there like almost 20 years. Well-established organization. They play tough, hard-nosed football as well. Giants are just kind of learning this physical style of play. And, that Daniel Jones, Malik Neighbors, that little tandem works pretty well. And the Cowboys did a pretty decent job at shutting it down tonight. I mean, he still had 12 catches for 115 yards, but, 35 of that came off one play, and it was, at the very beginning of the game where, Andrew Booth just slipped and fell. He kind of got shook out his socks is what he did. But we'll get to it more on Saturday. I know it's late night C3 up at 11:40, but I'm gonna get some rest. At least I know that the Cowboys won, and I can go to work tomorrow and it'll be peaceful and I don't have to hear nobody else's mouth. Yeah, and that's a good thing. All right, that's all we're gonna do for tonight. Tomorrow, make sure you stand. You catch the Man Down podcast tomorrow night. Man Down Sports. Look for it on YouTube. I'll be on there with the panel of fellas and ladies, talking sports. We'll talk a little football. We'll talk some basketball. We talk everything. Talk some WNBA. WNBA playoffs are going on right now. Make sure you like that page and subscribe to that page. Make sure you guys like this page, subscribe to this page, and we'll give you more. We'll give you a lot of content tonight, but I'm tired, man. It's been a long day. Capped off with a Cowboy win. I'm about to go upstairs and end this and have some sweet drinks. All right. You guys have a fantastic night. We'll talk more on Saturday. We'll get deep down into the weeds of this game, and hopefully we'll have some injury news, especially with DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons. And, hopefully it's nothing bad, but if it is, next man up, we're just going to have to keep going. All right. So let's get into this more on Saturday. Cowboy C3, man, you guys have a great night. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.